All right, we are live. What's up, everybody? How are you doing today? It is April 9th. I'm just going to hop over here and make sure that we're live on the page. Give us about 30 seconds. Okay, we are live. So, okay, great. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. This is April 9th. This is our Monday night TWN Spotlight Hangout, and tonight we have a very special guest for you who I'm going to introduce in a few minutes. But first, I want to talk to you a little bit about why we're here tonight and what we're going to be talking about. Basically, we invited you here, or somebody invited you here, because you are interested in, maybe making money another way, maybe doing something different in life. Just, you don't necessarily have to want to, become some internet millionaire or become a full-time internet entrepreneur. You could just want to, supplement what you're doing. You could want to do something completely new, but basically the point is you're here because you want to change. And what we're going to talk about tonight is, Daniel's going to be sharing his story and the changes that he's made basically in his life. And, we are basically just going to talk to you about his story and the challenges that he's faced, and maybe some of the challenges that you guys have faced and are facing currently, and how to overcome those challenges, and things like that. So I'm excited. If you've been on the Hangout before, you probably know this. We teach people how to sell on Amazon. And we teach them through what's called Amazon FBA, where you can outsource a lot of the work to Amazon themselves. And I don't want to talk too much about it, because if you decide to partner up with us, you will have a vast amount of training the second that you walk inside the door, as well as a one-on-one advisor to walk you through all the videos and the processes. So with all that said, again, I don't want to spend too much time on it, because if you decide that you want to partner up with us, you will get that the second you walk in the door. Right now, I want to introduce Daniel. I want to get to his story, and I haven't heard it. I've heard that he has a really interesting story, so I'm really excited to hear it tonight, and excited to have you all here with us. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to Daniel Finney. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and kind of who you are, Daniel.
Okay, yeah, sure. I was born and raised in Southern California, and then joined the military. So I'm kind of a military guy. I spent a lot of time over in Germany. Got out back in just after 9/11. I went back in the military, got injured when I was there, came back out, had a job for a little while. And it was difficult to hold down a job, because of my physical limitations. I'd been kind of experienced with some MLM stuff before I went to Iraq. And so I knew there was possibilities to make money online, because I'd seen people do it. Just I hadn't quite figured out how I could do it, how I fit in there. I learned the hard way that MLM was not something that I could do. It's not for everybody. Sure, everybody could probably try it, but you have to have a certain kind of mindset to really be able to, call people and recruit people, and that was it was difficult. But as time went on, I met some folks online on Facebook, and like for instance, Brian Cinnamon. Most people, y'all know him, and he started selling eBay and on Amazon and done this e-commerce thing. And that kind of piqued my interest, but I just kind of sat back and watched him for a while. Thought that was kind of interesting.
So, sorry, not to interrupt you, but I have a question for you before you go on. So you said that you tried MLM for a while. Just curious, how long were you trying? How long were you trying? Were you in MLM before you decided that it wasn't for you? Because I ask you that because a lot of people try it for 30 days and decide it's not for them. A lot of people decide it's not for them after 20 years. So
I tried it for about 2 years.
Okay.
And I made probably $80, $100, but it took me maybe a year just to recruit one person, and even then that it didn't pan out.
I
So
think
it
a
was
lot of people.
frustrating.
Yeah.
I have a lot of no's.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're here now.
Yes, sir.
What is so what first, when did you first get interested in e-commerce? I think you were kind of telling us that.
Yeah, it was actually about 2 years ago. You know, I was in an MLM, and it was, you know, I tried one more, and it seemed like it was a smart thing to do. I can't mention the company name, but you know, it was kind of centered around e-commerce, but not directly. Um, and that got frustrating. And after seeing Brian's success online, you know, I kind of hit him up about this e-commerce thing and how I could get involved. So that was about two and a half years ago.
So, okay, so you got started 2 years ago, and once you did get started, how long did it take you to make your first sale?
I think it was probably within the first big goal. I just wanted to see if I could make some money online.
You know what? You broke up for 1 second. How long did it take you?
About a week.
A week? Okay. Okay. That's great. I mean, you know, I like hearing a week, because the past few people that we've had on, you know, they've said they made their first sale in, you know, 24 hours or within the first, you know, 2 days, which is obviously it's possible and it's great, but, you know, things don't happen overnight. And, you know, I hate when I, you know, accidentally make people think that they can, you know, they can make a bunch of sales overnight. And, you know, really it takes a week. There's some people it takes 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, but a week is still very quickly, because if you were going to start a retail store or, you know, any other type of business, it would take you longer than a week just to figure out how you're going to start that business. But in your case, you made your first sale in a week. So I always like to give that comparison. It's, you know, a week sounds like a long time to some people, but in most businesses, you're just thinking of what to do in the first week. So that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine trying to open a retail store, brick and mortar. I mean, I hear stories, you know, it would take you years. Most people don't make money in their first 5 years. I'm thinking, man, who would want to do that?
Right. It's definitely a lot different than the digital world. But speaking of when you first got started, what was your initial goal when you first got started?
I think my initial goal, you know, big picture wise, I was thinking, you know, I'd like to make an extra $100 to $200 a month just to supplement my income. You know, because I'm a disabled vet. I'm not supposed to go find a job, because if I do, I'd lose some of my benefits. So initially that was my goal. And 2 years ago, I got started right around Christmas time. It was kind of crazy and hectic. And then January came, and they all kind of warned me, hey, it's going to slow down really bad, so don't give up. But I didn't listen. I quit for a little while. And, you know, life got tough here at home, and, you know, I got 5 kids, and I pretty much do everything around here. So it got kind of hectic and crazy. So for about 2 years, I did nothing. But I was in the back of my mind, hey, I know this e-commerce thing works. So back in October again, you guys had gotten your TWN thing going. I've been watching you and Brian and Jesse and a couple other guys. And so I'm thinking, I'm going to give this one more try. I don't want to quit, because quitters, you know, they don't ever succeed at anything. So gave it one more try, just started putting work in. And it was probably, again, within the first week that I started making sales again. And as Christmas started rolling around, sales came in a lot more. And a lot of it just depended on what you put up there to sell. And not quit. Be consistent every day, you know. I just kind of listen to what you guys train and teach. You know, be consistent, don't give up, ask questions, you know. And so that's what I did. No matter how discouraged I might have gotten, because maybe I didn't get a sale in a day or a week, I didn't quit. And I'm not going to quit this time. So
that's awesome, man. That is, first of all, 5 kids. Wow. That's,
yeah,
that's
13, 9, 8, 7, and 2.
wow. That is crazy. That's, sounds like a lot of work, but sounds amazing.
It
And
is a lot of work, you know. And the hardest part for me, I think, has been going from working hard all the time. Like when I got out of the military, I worked a full-time job at a high-end tire place. And I worked 12, 14, 16 hours a day because we get there way before we open and stay way after we close. And then coming home and doing nothing was horrible. But this doing e-commerce gives me purpose. You know, I can think critically. I can work hard. My results are based on the work I put in. So,
see, I like hearing that more than any income claim anybody can ever give, right? The fact that it gives you purpose, the fact that you enjoy what you're doing, like more than anything else, that is the most important thing, right? Because life is short. You have to enjoy what you're doing on a daily basis. If you hate what you're doing for the majority of every day, for the majority of your life, you know, who wants to live a life like that? And unfortunately, that's what that's the way of life for most people.
exactly. You know, and when I get feedback, you know, I never understood the purpose of sending feedback. Like when I bought something on Amazon or eBay or whatever, I just can usually ignore those. Hey, leave your feedback or review for whatever you purchased. But now that I'm a seller, I realize how important that is. And I'm proud to say I'm 100% positive feedback. I've got over 125 feedback so far. Very positive. You know, I try to really take care of my customer, go the extra mile. Because really, your feedback can make or break you.
Yeah.
So I enjoy taking care of my customer.
That's great. That's excellent. 125. That is, you're off to an amazing start, man. And you're obviously way past starting, but you've proved to yourself that you can make this work, and that's an amazing thing. So now that you have proven that to yourself, do you have an additional goal aside from that $100 to $200 a month you had when you first started?
You know, I've been watching closely. I've been watching Brian and David Cook, you know, on how they've been going from like drop shipping on Amazon to Amazon FBA. And now Brian has this one-day FBA thing. Those are the kind of things I'd like to do. But for me, my goal would be like earn an extra $3,000 to $5,000 a month is my goal. What I'd like to do probably within the next 12 to 24 months.
Okay, great. And you say that, but again, you know what I just mentioned before. Most importantly, you're happy doing what you're doing, and
yes, sir.
And you know that's the most important thing. As long as you stay happy, you know, the money, whatever. As long as you stay happy and you can live comfortably, that's the most important thing. And
exactly.
That's great to hear. What's your favorite thing about having an e-commerce business?
The fact that I can do it from anywhere, wherever I'm at. You know, if I get laid up in the hospital because I'm sick or something, I'd bring my computer with me and do some work. Like for instance, it was probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I was with my daughter in the hospital for 4 days because she was sick, and brought my computer, did some listings, you know, and did some work, and even made a few sales while I was there. Doesn't matter where I'm at. E-commerce, you know, I can be in Kansas, I can be in Germany, I can be in Mexico. As long as I have internet in my computer, I can do my business. That's the great part about e-commerce. So
freedom. That's
yes,
ultimate
sir.
freedom. Yeah. That it's hard to argue with that as a favorite.
I don't have to worry about that location thing.
Right. That's true. That's true. So obviously you've spoken, you know, you've already spoken about this since we've been talking, but maybe just, you know, so everybody can, you know, everybody here listening tonight has challenges that they've had to overcome. Everybody's challenges are different. Some are the same, but what are some of the biggest challenges for you that you would like to share with us that you feel have been, you know, the toughest to overcome, and that obviously you have overcome and feel great about?
You know, I have had a lot of different challenges, you know, family challenges, personal challenges with, you know, obviously with, you know, the way I feel about myself. You know, if I don't make a sale, or, you know, I might get depressed, but, you know, think, well, maybe I just need to quit because it's too hard, but really it's not hard. The key thing is just knowing that I can do this. And, you know, if I get discouraged or face that kind of challenge where, you know, life is tough at home, or life is tough because I'm not sure what I should list to sell, I always went to somebody and asked for help. You know, that's how I overcome my challenges. Just swallow my pride and just ask for help, whether it's a friend here at home or somebody online on Facebook. You know, I relied heavily on quite a few people on Facebook in the TWN family. So
That's, I mean, asking for help, you know, there's a lot of people that are afraid to ask for help. And even just like from a young age, there's people who are afraid to ask for help with their homework in school, and then with work, and then with their business and their business, like you're talking about.
right.
Asking for help, I mean, I love that answer, because in TWN, you know, in the Facebook group, or just from people you've met, everybody's willing to help each other. And I think helping each other and helping other people is a big part of at least my fulfillment and our fulfillment, and what makes us happy. And, you know, the fact that you can do very well doing something and then also show somebody else how to do the same thing, and they do well with it, or they even do better than you.
Right.
That is an unbelievable feeling, to be able to change somebody's life like that. So I love that answer, because, you know, there's people that want to help you and see your life change. And that's, keep asking for help, keep doing it. That's a great way to make things happen.
One thing I love about the Facebook community group we have for TWN, you know, is, you know, if you post something, if you're having a problem, or just write something down like, hey, you know, how are your sales today? Don't give up, don't quit. List. You know, if you don't list, you don't put in the work, you're not going to make a sale. You know, I've encouraged people, and they've told me that, and other people have encouraged me, you know, just by some of the things that they post. So it's important to always stay engaged. I think that was the hardest part for me at first. 2 years ago, is I didn't want to engage. I think partly because of my PTSD, I've become a bit reclusive, or had been. I'm starting to come out of my shell a lot more now, but I think it's important just to engage, whether it's commenting on somebody else's post, they made a sale, you know, always congratulate them. You know, and it feels good to encourage other people.
Yeah, and you're doing that right now. I mean, this is your first time on a live video, so first of all, congratulations about that, because
Yeah.
I mean, my first time, I remember, you know, you get nervous, but
Very.
the fact that you're up here right now is an amazing thing, because there's a bunch of people out there who need to hear this, who need to hear your story, who need to hear what you've been through and what you're doing now, and the fact that this makes you happy. And maybe it will spark one person or multiple people who will say, you know what, I want to try this. And then those people will try it, and, you know, maybe one or two of them say, hey, this is something that I think I want to do, and I think is going to make me happy. And, you know, that person who's listening to this right now, in a year from now, might be, you know, a full-time e-commerce seller. And
Exactly.
they need to hear this. And you're right, in the TWN group, there's encouragement. And but again, I want to just come back here and say again, congratulations on hopping on here tonight. And no, this is great. So do you have any exciting long-term plans that you'd like to share with us? Or sorry, getting a phone call here. But do you have any exciting long-term plans? I mean, I know you gave us your goals right now, but anything else that?
For now, my long-term goal is pretty much just, I want to double my income. I make about, off the military and assistance and stuff from Social Security, about $5,000 a month. But with 5 kids and a wife and myself, all the bills and utilities and car payments and all that stuff, the money was fast. My goal is to double that and go. I want to be full-time FBA seller, where my sales would, my profit after, my net profit after all sales would at least double my income.
Okay.
One thing I want to say, is for me, the driving thing for me was I wanted something better. I wanted to improve my financial situation, and I knew this would do it. And the only way that that's going to happen is if I don't quit. I can't encourage people enough that don't. If you get discouraged, who cares? Don't quit anyway. You owe yourself that much to not quit. Ask for help. Call, message you, Josh, or Brian, or Aaron, or anybody else in the group. Somebody's going to reach out to you. So
it's unbelievable advice. I mean, I'm sure you hear me say it too all the time on the Hangouts. Like, consistency is key. And
exactly.
And there's a lot of people that quit after, I was even saying, a week, a month, or 2 months. Think about all those other businesses we were talking about. Think about any other business other than a digital business. It's going to take you longer than 2 months just to plan how to start it, right? In 2 months. Think about college. College takes you 4 years to get through. Trade schools take you years. If you...
And then you're in debt for God knows how many years.
Right. And this...
Working a job that you can't even qualify for because, you went to school for something and you can't even get a job doing that. You got to do something else.
Right. And if you do get a job, the corporate world is just so different, because if you're $50,000 in debt after school and then you get a job that pays you $50,000 a year, first of all, that's great if you could get a job that pays you $50,000 a year. Most people probably can't do that. But even if you do, right? First of all, it's going to take you a lot of time to pay off that debt. Second of all, to double that, to get to $100,000, first of all, it might never happen. Second of all, you might have to stay at the same company for 20 years and get a 5% raise a year until you reach that point. There's just such a difference between your typical employee job, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, if you want something different, it's going to be hard to, live a different lifestyle as an employee than as a business owner. So if you want that freedom lifestyle, it's way different and more, I don't know what the best word is, but it's a lot more realistic to exponentially grow your income with your own business than as an employee. And
right.
It's
never get rich working for somebody else.
Right. So yeah, exactly.
I had people tell me you're only worth as much as it costs to replace you.
That's a very good point. That's very true. I've heard that before too. And especially now, you got, a lot of computers that are replacing a lot of people's jobs, and it's getting crazy. But anyways, this last question on here that I have for you is, what is your advice for new people looking to make money? And I think you kind of have been telling people the entire time your advice, and I'll let you say whatever you want to say, but you've been telling people, don't quit, stay consistent. Do you have anything else that you want to tell people who are looking at this right now, looking for something new and thinking about trying this out?
I think my best advice I would give is, if it's uncomfortable, then you need to do it. Step out of your comfort zone. You're never going to achieve anything great or improve your life if you stay comfortable.
And you're demonstrating that right now.
I'm very uncomfortable. I've never done a Facebook Live on purpose just because I don't like to see myself on the screen. But, that's just,
get used to it, man, because you got a story to tell.
I think once you do it, you get over it,
Absolutely. I love that. That's something
I've moved past that hurdle, that uncomfortableness. So,
and it feels good, right?
It feels real good.
Once you do something that you haven't felt comfortable with, it feels super good. And you know, that even goes back to when you first get started listing, right? When you first get started, a lot of people feel uncomfortable buying their first product, listing their first product, you know, taking that first action step after watching the videos. A lot of people feel uncomfortable doing that. And the second that you list your first product and then you make your first sale, you get over that and you start exponentially doing it. And
and you're like, woohoo!
Right. I love that advice. I haven't, you know, I don't know if anybody has, I don't know if anybody said that yet. That's a really good one. It's so true. Step out of your comfort zone. And again, I appreciate you for being here, and I get used to looking at yourself because you got a great story and people need to hear it. So I'm very happy that you hopped on here with us today. Is there anything you want to say to everybody before we end this out?
If you're thinking about it and you're on the fence, don't just dip your toe in. Don't just stick one leg in. Go full force. If you have a budget to dive right in, do it. You won't regret it.
Excellent. That is the truth. Do not come in here and just, you know, think that you're going to, you know, spend 5 minutes looking at something. No, come in and give yourself a real chance. Give yourself a real chance of actually studying, taking action, and seeing what will really happen. Far too many people quit before they give themselves a real chance, and it's really unfortunate, and it's honestly sad to see, right? I was talking about this last week with someone. You know, multiple people get started at the exact same time. 2 of them quit, the other one keeps going, and 3 years later, those other 2 people are in the exact same place they were 2 years ago, but the third one took action and is absolutely crushing it and is in a completely different place in his life. So give yourself a shot, listen to Daniel, and
don't quit.
With that said, what you can do now is click the button below. It's $3 to get started with us today. That's it. We're not asking you for a bunch of money. It's $3. You're going to get access to the 3-day training, and then you're going to get a one-on-one advisor who's going to walk you through the 3 days of videos to, number 1, make sure that you are watching them and understanding them, and number 2, to make sure that you're taking action on them. So go ahead, click the button below. Get started with us. It's $3. Daniel, thank you so much for hopping on with us tonight.
You're very welcome. Glad to be here.
We'll look forward to having you on again soon to get a progress update. And again, wish you a good night. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for hopping on. And go ahead, click the button below. Get started with us. We're excited to have you, and we will see you on the inside. Have a great
good night.